a seven-time Pro Bowl, two-time All-Pro receiver from the Rams, a Super Bowl 34 champ, one of the greatest receivers all time, 21st century for sure. Torry, Big Game Holt, how are you? Let me see those hands again. Those hands have seen some things.
What's up, Kate? How are you? Thanks for having me on. Thanks for your patience today.
No, thank you for being patient. We made you wait 3 minutes of us talking absolute nonsense. Here, you know what I love? You are so dialed in right now, so I'm very excited to talk to you. You were talking the guys who were balling. I know you're watching everybody all around the league right now, and you called a preseason game, which is obviously a fun experience before. But that was, and Rams Jags for Westwood 1 is next level. Can you tell me what that felt like? What was your big takeaway from that experience? Have you in the you in the booth?
Kate, incredible experience. And it was everything that I thought. You know, you hear guys and girls who call games and they say it's like you're sitting in your living room and you're watching what you love to watch and what I once played. And that's what I felt like. And JP Scandrick was fantastic. Brian and everyone there at Westwood 1 and helping me get prepared to call the Jags-Rams game. And I played for both teams, so I just felt so comfortable and at home talking about two teams that I played for, two teams that I followed. So in a lot of ways, it was natural, but a lot of things to work on. I've already had my debrief, a lot of things to work on, but super excited. And I say this, I had an opportunity to talk to London Fletcher, talk to Kurt, went back to my Greatest Show and Turf buddies. Hey, what is it like doing your radio broadcast? And they broke it down to me. So I tried to take some of that knowledge and then my own personality and style and call the game. So it was great. And then the Rams kicked butt.
I will say it was a joy to listen to because your passion was so unadulterated. So you can do all these feedback meetings and meet, please, do whatever you feel like you as a coachable player want to do, but please do not lose what I heard, which was this like intense, passionate excitement about do not lose that, Torry, because that's special.
I appreciate that. That's, my brother and I, we talk about to our staff about, finding your superpower. And to me, that's my superpower, is my energy, my passion, my love for football. I love football. And I showed it when I played, and now I get an opportunity to express it, over the airways and bring our audience, our great fan base, into the game of football that I love and talk about it in the way that I try to play it, and I respect it now.
Sounds like it's not the end. Sounds like it wasn't just a one-off for Torry Holt, which I love to hear. Let's talk a little ball here. Rams. I just am obsessed with like the turn back of time that is happening or something. Not that like Stafford never lost it, but to be playing better than ever. I never really imagined in Canton at some point after your end, when we're letting Matthew have his moment, that the highlights would be 2025, but they will be. What is going on?
Yeah, it's fantastic to watch. I was with them in London, and after the game, I went in and saw the team and had a chance to see Matthew, and he complimented the team and how they played. And then I stepped out of the locker room. I saw his wife and the kids, had a chance to meet them and speak. And as I'm standing there, Matthew's finishing up, and he walks out of the locker room, and his girls just beeline to their dad. That's what it is to me, I think. He's playing certainly for he's so integrated into his family. It means something for him to come out of that locker room victorious and for his daughters to run up to him and embrace him in that way. We as athletes, we're always looking for something for inspiration to keep us going, to keep us playing, and there's nothing greater than family to keep you playing. And I see that in Matthew Stafford. He's tough as hell. We all know that. He's smart. He's in command. He has a really good vibe with Coach McVay, when to turn him off, when to keep him on. It's just good chemistry when you get a football team, and it carries over from Sean to Stafford to the offensive club. And
it's so interesting.
They play for each other, Kate. They play for each other, and it all starts with his leadership and how he prepares and gets ready to go out for battle.
It's interesting. When I was there, it was my first training camp stop of like 20, and I'd gone the year before. And when I talked to Davante, the new ad, who at that point had done very little, and Stafford wasn't even practicing. I think they had like connected for one ball in OTAs earlier in April. And Davante's, the sense I got from him was that everyone's on the same level or something. Like Puka's this like young, reckless cat, but that serves a purpose too, as we heard from Davante saying he's motivated by how the strain that these receivers had, that he wants to give even more when he's watching the tape, which is like, oh my gosh, what's going to keep these guys out of a Super Bowl if that's their mentality? But it really, my takeaway from it, and I talked about it on this show, was that Davante's like, Sean's got babies, Matthew's got babies, I've got babies. Like we're all in like the same part of life right now. And that had some bearing, that had some meaning on him and them being, let's go. And as you know, I mean, every NFL player I ever talked to is like, I want, you know, when they start getting towards the end of what you know, just eventually, inevitably will be their career, it is all about like, no, I want my kids to see me. I want my kids to remember that I was, you know, like, and that's sometimes I'll be like, man, like, what is this like? Or, you know, the players who don't want their kids to watch them on YouTube, they want to have the sense of like remembering that their dad did this very cool thing. Like, and you're saying that that's driving Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, I think it is. I think, and you just said it, I think it's driving Davante Adams. I think it's driving Coach McVay. All the guys on the team that has family, it's driving. And they created a family atmosphere. So it's a family culture there. And it's nothing greater than getting up in the morning and feeling good about going to work, excited to go to work with guys who, as you mentioned, said on the same level. It was when I think back to my rookie year in St. Louis. I came into a locker room with guys who was on the same level. Everybody was looking to get better. Everybody wasn't married and had kids, but in terms of our mentality for the game, it was on the same level. And now you see Davante and Stafford and those guys, as we would say, on the back end of their careers, but it certainly doesn't look like it now. But it comes full circle. It reminds them of their childhood, and now they get an opportunity to express and share their professional sport with their kids, and it all combines. Okay, and when you have that feeling, and you have that continuity that we see on the Rams, and I saw it when I went out to training camp, it permeates from the top to the bottom. Everybody understands what it takes and what it's going to take for them to be successful year after year. That's the standard. That's the expectations in Los Angeles.
I don't know Matthew, but I mean, I just see the images of him and the girls in his family, and like they're old, they seem old enough to retain memories. You know, that's
it's sweet. He's got 2 twins. It's sweet to see that, because I have kids too.
Very cute.
I have kids, and I remember bringing my son into the locker room and sharing my life, my career with my kids. It's the same thing that they're doing. It's no greater feeling. And guys out there guys and girls out there that play professional sports certainly understand what I'm talking about. Definitely.
I thought you were just going to say, what do you mean, Kay? Matthew's got great receivers. Isn't that the answer you're supposed to give me, Torry? Talk to me about these receivers and how special they are. Davante just said this week that they were watching tape and he stopped and he was like, look at you guys stopping the run, blocking, or pass protection, whatever they're doing, all the strain that they have on all sides to get to the ball. That he wants to even give more, which is like, if you have Davante Adams wanting to give more, you're in a pretty freaking contending spot. You're in a good situation. So how much credit should we give Puka for being this sort of keep me young engine for what this team, because you can say they're all on the same level, they're getting older, but this is like the youngest mental team maybe in the NFL with the way that they all just love ball. They love ball. Yeah. Matthew does, Puka does, Davante does. They love Sean more than anyone. But when you watch Puka, there's a million impressive things. What to you is the most wow thing about Puka Nacua?
I think it starts there. He loves ball. And when I'm asked about it, that's what I say. I say that about quite a few of those guys on that Rams team. They love ball. And you see it in the way that they play. And you talk about the strain and the effort. When you see those long runs that Kyron Williams and Corum, they'll continue to get as the season progresses. When you see those long runs, it's because the receivers are on the strain on the outside, blocking up, giving those running backs the opportunity to finish. I played with a great running back in Marshall Faulk, and Isaac and I and Oz and Ricky and the tight ends. We understood if we got our blocks, he could take it to the crib. That's why he's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So and then if we're doing our job in the run game, blocking and getting on guys, it helps set up things for us in the passing game. So it's complementary football, and they understand that. And again, it comes from their leadership. It comes from the tutelage of Sean. It comes from Matthew echoing it and then making sure that things happen on the offensive play, that they make the correct plays. So it's I think Puka is in a great situation. You think about his rookie year, he learned on the Cooper Cup. You think about now, he's learning under Davante Adams. Two totally different wide receivers in terms of style and whatnot, but very productive. That's one thing that the guys have in common, very productive. So he understands productivity. He understands what it takes to get there, to be productive, and he understands the consistency of it. Because you look at Tay Adams, for the most part, he's been pretty consistent being on the field, being at practice, and then showing up on Sundays. I'm excited for Tay Adams because of how forthcoming he is with this football team, in particular with his receiver group.
It's true. There's like a real team mentality happening. There's not like a bark for the ball. I want my numbers. Like there's none of that going on.
That's to be applauded.
Yeah. And they might go to the Super Bowl. Do you think that this team needs to make any addition? I mean, trade deadline's Tuesday. I never put it, they don't need to, but I never put it past Les.
You never put it past Les. You never put it past Les, but I also know Les in that brass know that they got good players and they believe in their players. That's why they're on that roster. They do a really good job of identifying their football players and putting together a team. I was fortunate enough to be with them in training camp and see it firsthand and just hear the conversation and everybody on the same page and what their mission is and what their task is. So I wouldn't put it past them, but he believes in the football players that they have a roster that's built to win.
And they might win it all if I'm thinking about just the NFC. If they were to add, what position do you think? So I'm kind of asking you, it's a different way of asking you, like, what's one spot you have questions about? I would think maybe I would love if they added some depth at the O-line maybe.
Well, you say O-line certainly definitely can't have enough offensive linemen, particularly the way Matthew Stafford is playing and throwing the football and seeing the field. So keeping him protected and upright is a priority. So, yeah, you can look at O-line, and then you can never, if you can get a freakish rush in is always good. Getting after the quarterback, though they have guys that can do it. You just add in more depth. Corners, you can't go wrong with having corners. Because teams are throwing the football around so much. I just looked the other day, Jamar Chase had 25 targets. 25 targets. So you gotta have guys that can cover that caliber player that's getting that amount of targets. So corner is good, but I believe that they have a roster right now that can win. And these are guys that they drafted and that they developed, and they're asking them to go out and play at a high level and win.
They added a corner, Mercury. I think it's. I think like. I mean, what if they just made like what if they just made like a blockbuster pass rush trade? Like, not that they need it, but like I would not. I'm just saying I would not put it past them. If we're gonna be boring,
Myles Garrett? Are you insinuating Myles Garrett?
I mean, I've seen it. I don't know. I don't talk. I would not dare even try to get info. But I mean, like, can you imagine? I don't care if Browns fans are mad. I would be so happy for Myles. So yeah, I'd love to see that. Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Yeah,
Get to a contender and go win the Super Bowl. Like go like eat Brock Purdy for breakfast. Like that's what, yeah. It should happen today on his favorite holiday.
Well, he has certainly been productive, as we all know. I think that's probably an understatement. And a player like that, you want to see win. Because I truly believe Myles Garrett, I don't know Myles. I've seen him, say hello to him, but I don't know him personally. But he seems to give off a guy who, is a good dude and deserve to be on the winning side because of how productive he's been and dominant he's been in our game since entering the league.
All I'm saying is this is a team that brought in Von Miller. This is a team that brought in Aqib Talib and made it happen. They bring in big stars and somehow are able to make it happen because there's the culture of this organization, how they're run. So wouldn't be surprised, but if not, like, I don't know, maybe the Saints will sell, Trevor Penning, the Giants have Evan Neal. Maybe grab an O-lineman so you guys can go to the Super Bowl. I'd love to see that. Okay, week 9 I want to get to. Chiefs, Bills, marquee matchup, Mahomes versus Allen. And now that you're in the media, I get to ask you, Mahomes versus Allen, who do you like better?
You know what? I'm predicting that Patrick Mahomes could be one of my big game ballers.
Okay.
This week
Your
in week 9.
Instagram series.
Yeah, my Instagram series, exactly. He we all know that he hasn't done well in the regular season against the Buffalo Bills, but he's been fantastic in the playoffs. So I believe Patrick Mahomes will be special, playoff style special in a regular season matchup this weekend against the Buffalo Bills and have a spectacular day. He's got so many weapons that he's throwing the football to. Kate, and and I just want to mention a few of them, if that's okay. Do we have time, Kate?
Yeah.
Do,
We do. Go for it.
Kelsey,
this isn't the question. I asked you the wrong question. We should. I wanted it to. Yeah.
Rice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Worthy, Juju.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got so many guys that he can throw the football to. I think Patrick Mahomes and that Kansas City Chiefs, as we've seen over the last couple of weeks, are catching their stride, and they'll be led by him in a huge performance, and everyone else will play their part as well.
Who would you rather catch passes from? That's what I should have asked you.
Oh, man. Either one, because they both.
Torry, that's not how this works. You're now in the media. Now you can't be in the.
Patrick Mahomes. I'll catch balls to Patrick Mahomes. Could throw off platform, keeps his eyes down the football field, can throw the deep ball, can throw the out, can throw the comeback, can throw the digs, can throw everything on the route tree, and he's creative and he's fun. He's fun. You playing with a guy like him, you go to the park with a guy like him, man, you know you're gonna win games and you know you're gonna get the rock. So yeah, Patrick Mahomes, no doubt.
And we're picking the Chiefs to win this one. Even in Buffalo. I don't know. It's going to be such a great game. I can't wait. Okay, here's what I need to know. I need your top 3 receivers in the National Football League right now.
Ooh, top 3. I'll say Jamar Chase is certainly outstanding. He's prolific. Justin Jefferson, obviously, his just, again, prolific, and production has just been off the charts. And then, Tay Adams, Mike Evans, and those guys are coming, are right there too. So a plethora of talent, different talent in our league. But those, I would say, are the top guys that come right to my mind, Kate, and in a large partly it's because of how productive they are.
And it's productive they are year in, year out. You're just so we understand, you're giving Tay the nod over Puka because?
Well, just Tay's consistency and how long he's been doing it. I think Puka is certainly a rising star in our league. He's just got to stay on the field and consistently do it year after year after year after year after year, like the great ones have done. But he's certainly in line to be one of those next up and young coming productive wide receivers for sure. And Sean's going to get him the football. We know, and he's in a good system, but Sean's going to get him the rock.
I'm going to get on if I had what do you call a fake Twitter, I would be tweeting you right now and saying, what about JSN? Excuse me. He's the best receiver in the national. Can you give a little love to JSN? Where does he belong in the ranking?
Statistically, he's doing his thing. But again, he's a young, emerging, upcoming young wide receiver that I group in there that's coming. The guys that I mentioned, I think, are the standard and have done it for some years and continue to, even though teams know that they're getting it and they get large amount of targets. Yes, and some of their teams may suck. But in terms of what they do, the guys that I mentioned, they get it done.
It's very true. Now, every year we do this. How the hell don't you have a gold jacket? I don't understand what's going on. Your resume remains undeniable. One of the most decorated. You've been a finalist 3 times, including last year, I think. And you'll automatically be a finalist again this year. Where are you with the Hall of Fame?
Excited. Okay. I'm excited, and I come in every year with a new level of excitement. And I've left, 6 straight years with disappointment. But I get right back up, and I'm excited again for the next wave. Okay, my work is done. Folks out there that follow the National Football League have seen or have heard of my body of work in the National Football League. I think it speaks for itself, and my passion, ability to win, all those things that come with it. It's I think it marries up with Hall of Fame credentials. So we'll see how it flows. I'll be a finalist this year. My fingers will be crossed. And we'll be watching it, and hopefully this year is the year that I hear my name being called.
I appreciate the resilience, because that's worn on lots of people.
It takes it.
I just want to make sure everyone understands. Like, we know the resume, more yards than anyone, including Randy Moss and Tio in the 2000s. More catches than anyone who played in that era too. Quick question. Have you gotten any feedback as to what the holdup is? Has Canton ever, sometimes they provide feedback.
No, not any, really concrete feedback, other than that my presenter, Howard Balzer, feels he's going in each year and presenting a heck of a case. And I've heard from other folks in the room that echo that. So He's going to do that again this year. He's going to present me in a way that he feels I'm a Hall of Fame worthy player. And that's what I'll lean on. Kate, I don't try to, fish around trying to find out what's this or what's that. I, listen to those that are part of it, and just, I'm just waiting my turn, patiently waiting my turn.
And while you're doing that, you are making a name for yourself in media, which affects everything, being part of the game, being out there. I love that. You're excellent at it. I can't wait to see what's next. And you're also just a good guy. You have incredible charity work that you do, you and your brother, Terrence. It's the Holt Brothers Foundation. 25 years. Congratulations to you on the Fundraiser event. It's this Sunday. Man. People can donate their silent auction items. What else, Torry?
It's 25 years that we're celebrating this foundation. And Kate, I've won Super Bowls and I've had kids, got married, and my brother and I started business, and this is one of my babies. Having our baby, I would say, my brother and I having our foundation and being in existence for 25 years. And I'll say this, and I'll say to the communities that we've served, and mainly it's been North Carolina and St. Louis, and now out in Los Angeles. We say thank you for entrusting in us for 25 years to give us the confidence and the trust to go out with your resources to impact our community. Hope Brothers Foundation supports young kids with a parent or primary caregiver with a cancer diagnosis. And healing happens when families, partners, and communities come together for memory-making experiences and play, because no one should face cancer alone. 25 years, we've turned our family's loss into legacy while helping other families write their own, Kate. Helping us celebrate 25 years this weekend and get set up for another 25 years of success by being a part of our 4th annual fundraiser. And even if you're from afar, HopeBrothersFoundation.org/fundraiser. HopeBrothersFoundation.org/fundraiser. You can donate and bid on silent auction items. And Kate, I have to finish because I'd be remiss if I don't get all this out. My executive director will kill me. So please allow me to have this. And if you or someone you know is a parent with a cancer diagnosis, check out our Kick Off the Coverage program as a free resource to start the conversation about cancer, a cancer diagnosis with your kids. Go to HopeBrothersFoundation.org under the Programs tab. And give us a follow on social media at Hope Brothers Foundation. And Kate, we're excited about this weekend. We're going to wear our funky sneakers.
Yeah.
We're going to dress funky. We're going to have good music, good food. Angus Barn represents and holds us down. We're going to have a great time. Thank you for allowing us to share.
Thank you. Cancer affects us all. I can't imagine trying to have that. We were just talking about children and the effect and having that conversation with the child. How do you do that? And that's exactly what Kickoff to Courage does. So we will get this out on Twitter. Please, Jake, clip this for Twitter. And there's free copies if you sign up, if you ask for one. It's called A Kid's Book About Cancer. And it is truly a beautiful tool, as I understand it, to help talk with your kids about something that has affected, and will continue to affect families all across the country. It's a really incredible way to make a difference. Torry, thank you. And thank you for being on the show.
Thank you very much, Kate. I appreciate you guys.